Yeah, I'm clear. My white balance is
it all? It's good?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, could you please? Tell her, come on. Sorry, we didn't mean to lock you out of there.
Oh, I've been
On the phone?
doing phone calls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's good,
We're-
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I enjoy
We're
this.
just wrapping up, actually.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Take a little break.
yeah. So, phones are off?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Ready?
Yep.
Good. So, tell me about doctors burnout, patients. I don't know, what is doctors burnout?
So what about what about burnout in physicians? It's been around for burnout for physicians has been around for a while, but in recent years there's a considerable uptick and a considerable increase in unhappiness, dissatisfaction, depression. In fact, the latest thing that I've read, a friend and colleague of mine who's a psychiatrist has been working in this area, but just over 50% of physicians now are experiencing burnout. That means they're depressed, dissatisfied, frustrated, not enjoying practice, not wanting to practice, not being able to offer the kind of care that they would like to be able to offer. And I guess it's due to sort of accumulation of complexities of the reality of practice in medicine. You know, the obvious thing you hear a lot about it, electronic use of electronic records and requirements of insurance companies, requirements of hospitals, requirements of medical organizations for recertification, malpractice issues, financial issues, governance and management issues, work time risk issues, training residents and interns, and how do you get all the work done and get all the training done and be alert and safe to take care of your patient in the operating room, or not to drive off the road when you're going home. I mean, it's so these are all very real, but I guess they are as high as prevalent as ever, and so it's a very major issue.
So you think all these issues are causing doctors or caregivers to miss the point of being, I don't know, cultural literate to patients?
Among other things, many other things they're doing, I think it has to be more difficult. I mean, I think pretty much everything they're doing, we're doing. I should say we, although I'm not really honest practitioner anymore. I've been away for about 10 years doing teaching. But yeah, I mean, it impacts everything the caregiver does. So people are aware of it. Leaders are aware, and they're working to try to address it in various ways, to try to adjust programs and try to control adding on more and more requirements to the practice of medicine.
What can the government do to help spread this word of healthcare disparities and how we can overcome it? What can the government do?
I think, as I mentioned, you're asking about the government and what should be its role. And I wish we could get more help from the government. When I say we, what I mean, I guess the medical establishment, the people who are, as I mentioned earlier, I'm no expert in politics, but I feel that we should somehow get the politics out of medicine. It's a human issue. It shouldn't be a political football. And it is, and it's almost like the politicians, the people who are making these decisions, don't care about patients. They just care about what the next move is on the chessboard politically, and it's really unfortunate. So I don't I'm not sure what the right answer is. What I would like to see is a commission that was established of some of the best minds in our country in economics, in public health, in medicine, in the pharmaceutical world, in ethics, in ethical world, and we have that talent, and to look at what the resources are, and really explore what system, given our strengths and weaknesses as a country, and I would say given our commitment to health care as a human right, equitably provided, a human right provided equitably. And other nations do this and can do this, and they are, I don't think, substantially more wealthy or more humane than we are. And I think our healthcare system falls way behind our basic cultural humanity and our wealth. And it's used in ways that could be more effective economically. It's a tough problem. I don't mean to say it's a slam dunk or an easy problem by any means. It is a tough problem. But we can do much, much, much better, I think, than we're doing now if we take the politics out of it. We deal fairly with the vested economic interests. You know, there's the insurance interests, there's the, I call it follow the dollar. You know, the insurance companies in the game, the hospital corporations in the game, the pharmaceutical companies, the instrument companies, the medical schools, the doctors, the nurses, all of these units, all of these entities are in the game. And actually, unfortunately, there's no real good team for the patients. The patients, you know, who represents the patients? You know? And I think it's the responsibility, actually, of doctors, whether we like it or not. I feel it is our responsibility to advocate for social justice for the patients. So that's kind of the way it looks to me. That's no, I understand, though, we're a long way from that, and so much so that it's impractical. But it's not impossible, and I'm certainly not the only one who thinks that it's not quite right, and who thinks that it can be better. But I do think it's extremely difficult to sit down and think and organize and collaboratively across many disciplines solve the problem. How can we deliver the best possible care to all of our patients and citizens who need it with the resources that we have? Not how can I get reelected, or how can I look good and make the other party look bad, and just keep going along without any consideration of how it's affecting the lives of people who are being denied health care. Actually, patients at Cook County Hospital in Chicago, Professor Ansel has written extensively about this. And if you don't have the right insurance to get you there, and you have a medical emergency, and the ambulance takes you to the hospital, and your insurance doesn't match, they can refuse you, and they may refuse you, and you may die before you get to the next hospital that's going to accept your insurance. Now, he's written, obviously, a lot about this, and this happens all the time, and it's an unfortunate reality of our society, and we can and we must do better. And I don't know when we're going to start doing better, but I think we have to keep speaking about it. I think, I'm blocking on his name right now, but the fellow who ran with Hillary Clinton, the guy from Vermont.
Tim Kaine.
Kaine, yeah, and who's the guy from Vermont, though? The elderly gentleman, who was the candidate, candidate for president.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, yeah. Bernie is, at least he's putting it on the table. He's saying, you know, universal health care may be the way to do this.
Well, that was Obamacare, wasn't it?
Well, Obamacare was more in that direction,
Right.
but no, I wouldn't say it was not universal health care.
I mean,
No.
a lot of people were complaining because they had to pay out of pocket for that.
Yeah, yeah.
All
right,
right.
okay.
Thank you so much.